might want to come a little bit closer. I'm about to use a dirty word. I'm about to use a word that people find very challenging and problematic. Yep, the D word, discipline. And how do we build discipline? Your brain will mess with you, and why it's so important, particularly to men on a personal development journey. The definition of discipline I first heard from the great philosopher Mike Tyson, whose favourite quote of his actually is, "Everyone has a plan till I punch him in the face." But that isn't the quote I'm talking about in terms of discipline. He said, discipline is the ability to do something you hate as if you love it. So just think about that. Discipline is the ability to do something you hate as if you love it. So why is that so important? Why is that so important when you're doing the work? Well, because a lot of what you're going to have to do is painful. A lot of what you're going to have to do is more introspection, more looking inside, more finding out about yourself, facing more hard truths, facing more limiting beliefs, addressing your habits, addressing your strategies. I mean, you're doing in one way of looking at doing the work is you're doing a ruthless inventory of everything in your life, internal and external. And then you are setting about making changes to those things that are no longer acceptable or useful or beneficial to you. Now that don't sound like fun, does it? You know, that ain't going to Skegness and having a picnic on the sand dunes, right? It's not sipping margaritas in Benidorm, right? It just ain't. Although both those things are probably my idea of hell. But you get my drift. It ain't a party, right? There are times when you are going to have to look at parts of yourself that you do not want to admit are there. If you're doing the work thoroughly, you're going to have to take a deep look at self. And let me tell you, you take a deep look at self, there will definitely be bits that you don't like. So why are you going to keep doing it? Well, one way is motivation, right? You're motivated because you want to be the change that you see, that you want in the world. That's great. But motivation fades. Motivation will get you so far. Motivation will get the habit forming. But what's going to get you turning up to your men's group week after week after week after week when you're going to be challenged? What's going to keep you self-reflection? What's going to keep self-improvement? It gets monotonous. It does. It's a long journey. Over 2 decades I've been doing it. There's periods where I feel like I'm failing and it's a complete and utter waste of time. But what keeps me turning up? As I said, the motivation, that fades. I have a network of men who hold me accountable. Great. But if I wanted to fuck off, I could fuck off. Right? What keeps me turning up? Discipline. The ability to do something I hate as if I love it. I'm gonna put myself through the ringer again. Fantastic. I'm gonna have to get ruthlessly honest. Fantastic. I'm gonna learn something about myself and how I work that I may not like. Yippee. It's discipline that keeps you turning up. And how do we build discipline? Practice. Your brain will mess with you. Just look at if you're trying to build the discipline of getting up at the same time every day, which if you watch what I'm talking about, I know it's a little thing. People are like, why does he keep going on about that? If you can't keep that commitment to yourself, what other commitments are you going to let slide during the day? So pick a time that you're going to get up every day and get disciplined about doing that. Even if you don't want to, Even in the winter when you wake up and it's like, it's freezing cold, you've got someone next to you, they're nice and warm. Oh, could just press snooze for another 5 minutes, another 5 minutes, another 5 minutes. No. You've got to build the discipline to keep doing that. And building discipline is learning to override your mind when it says no. Some of you know I'm a skateboarder, right? One of the hardest things, you ask any skateboarder, one of the hardest things they ever had to do, and they'll tell you it was learning to drop in, right? That's when you go up a big ramp and you put the tail of the board on one side and you come and you drop in, right? You'd have seen it a million times if you've watched any skateboard videos or any skating adverts, you see people drop in. Once you can drop in, it's nothing, right? It's just I go and I lean in. But it's counterintuitive what you're doing. You've got a drop, sometimes a vertical drop. You've got your board on the top, you're looking down, and your whole body, your brain is going, we can't do this. We can't do this. We can't do this. We can't do this. Your body is going, no, I've had it where I've wanted to lean forward. My body won't move. Like you're literally frozen with fear, right? And your brain is going, nope, 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 nope. Discipline is that part of you that goes, yes. Right? So how do we build that? We just start listening to the voice that goes, yes, when everything else is saying no. So start with building the discipline, getting up in the morning. Get disciplined about getting up in the morning. Get disciplined about building the habit to get up in the morning, which means you are in integrity with the commitment that you made. You see how this stuff all starts linking together? Right? It's a line which works on the micro and comes up into the macro. I have to build the discipline to be able to build the habits, which means I can stay in integrity with the man that I want to be, which I developed through looking at my values, looking at my purpose, right? And when I don't do that, I hold myself accountable. It's a system. That's what all this is. It's a system that creates change. And setting up that system, understanding that system is one thing. But doing it requires discipline because it will not be easy. So we have to set ourselves small goals and make sure we do them regularly. Even when we don't want to. Freezing cold in the morning, don't want to get out of bed, get out of bed, right? There is a voice inside you that overrides all of that, right? There is a voice inside you that will make you do the things you hate like you love them. And it's not always a friendly voice, but it wants the best for you. I think of it as a sort of, in a way, it's the voice of the father archetype, that healthy father that we all wish we had, that goes, I know you're afraid, but you have to do this because the consequences of not is greater. I know you don't want to go to the gym. I know it's hard work to go to the gym. It's harder work to be 70 years old and you've lost all your core strength. I know it's hard work. I know it takes discipline not to eat bad food. But do you want diabetes? Right? That's how these things work. There has to be a part of us that we have to cultivate that isn't always the one that says, you know what, do what you like and just take care of yourself now and you need a little bit of rest. There's a father in you. There's a masculine voice inside you that says, get the fuck out of that bed now and hit the road and do what you have to do. And keep doing it. There is a voice inside you that says, I don't care if it's cold, get up and do it because it's what you have to do. That is not an abusive voice if it's coming from a place of love. Just like it's not abusive to teach your son or your daughter that You might have to fall a few times. You might have to fail. You may have to hurt yourself. And I'm going to have to sit with the pain of watching you hurt yourself. Because otherwise I'm stopping you from being a capable, competent human being that can exist in this complex and often dangerous world. You need that voice of discipline that says, if not now, when? Stop bullshitting yourself and others and go and do that thing that you said you were going to do every single week. Yes, it is Thursday. Yes, it is 6 o'clock. Yes, it is gym time. It's not self-care to ignore that voice. Discipline is self-care. Because those things that are good for us often do not feel good for us. You know, there's a saying which I'd like you to keep hold of, which is things that feel good now, instantly, are usually bad for us in the long run. And things that feel bad now are usually good for us in the long run. So how do we do those things that are bad now as if we love them? Discipline. I might do a whole video on how to cultivate discipline. But for now, I just want you to know why it's so important that we cultivate and take discipline seriously when we're on a men's personal development journey, when we're doing the work. Because it's a difference between showing up and not showing up. It's the difference between occasional and often. Right? Discipline. Letter D. Thank you for listening if you're listening. Thank you for watching if you're watching. Stay connected. Keep doing the work.